You may get a bit of sticker shock every year when you get your property tax bill, but do you know why we pay that money? Let's talk about it. Before we dive into property taxes, if you're thinking about making a move to or within the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, I just started a Facebook group that may be a big help. I post a lot of information about the area, and I'd love to see your engagement there. You can find a link to that group in the description below, along with all of my contact information. Now on to property taxes. Texas property taxes are collected locally and used at the local level rather than the state level. Local governments set the tax rate and they collect the funds. And that's the largest source of revenue that local governments have for things like schools, police, and other important services. Property is appraised at market value and the tax rate is applied to that value. The rate you'll pay for property taxes varies depending on the area that you live in. For example, the tax rate in Lewisville is currently lower than the tax rate in Lake Dallas. It's something that's important to consider, especially if your budget is a little tighter. And that's information that I can always provide to you, so feel free to reach out if you're curious. When and how is property tax collected? Well, that depends how you've opted to have it collected. For most people, it's rolled into their mortgage, but you can opt to just pay a lump sum every year. If you're not good about setting money aside for things like that, it's probably safest to have it rolled into your mortgage. However, if you pay off the house, it's now up to you to pay that lump sum every year. What happens when you buy or sell a house? Property taxes are paid in arrears, meaning you pay for the year that just finished. Property taxes are due by the end of January for the previous year. When you buy a house, those property taxes are prorated. They calculate them out per day that each buyer and seller owned the house. So you're only paying for the days that you actually owned that property. Exemptions are really important when it comes to saving money on property taxes. There are a number of partial or total exemptions available. A partial exemption removes a percentage or a fixed dollar amount of a property's value from taxation. A total exemption excludes the entire property from taxation. Most of the time you have to apply for an exemption, and they're filed at the appraisal district of the county that you live in. There are a variety of exemptions available, including a general homestead exemption, an over 65 exemption, disabled veterans exemption, and more. If your house is your primary residence, you'll want to file a homestead exemption. It removes a portion of your value from taxation so that you're taxed on a lower amount. It's a great savings, and if you haven't done it, you need to get on it. If you're not sure if you've done it, you can pull up your property on your local appraisal district website and it'll tell you what exemptions you have. A quick note. It's free to file an exemption. You'll get letters in the mail, especially after you first purchase a house, from all kinds of companies offering to do this for you. It's free and easy, and don't fall for it. So when you get hit with that property tax bill, should you protest? I'm a firm believer that you should, because why wouldn't you? Appealing is relatively easy. You fill out a form on the appraisal district website, or you can opt to have a hearing. You'll need comps that show the value of your home is not the value that they're suggesting. And I can run those comps for you. I do it for piles of people every year. We're looking for comps that show a lower value, not market comps, but just something that shows your home is overpriced by the county. It's also helpful if your house is in any state of disrepair or needs certain repairs done to point those out. For example, if you have linoleum in your kitchen and they're comparing your house to every other house in your area that has granite, uploading photos of those discrepancies can really help get your value dropped. Most people simply protest online and then take the discount that's often offered. But you can go in person or have a virtual meeting. And you can find all of that protest information on your local appraisal district website. And this is where I have to include an important little note. Texas is a non-disclosure state. So after you purchase a house, when you get that form in the mail from your county telling you they want all of the details about the purchase of your home, don't disclose that information. You will see in the fine print on that document that it tells you you don't have to submit that information. And why would you? When they come back with high property taxes and you try to appeal that, if you've purchased that house in the height of the crazy market and paid over for it, you're gonna have a really hard time fighting your property taxes. What happens if you don't pay your property taxes? The short explanation is that penalty and interest charges will begin to accrue on that amount beginning February 1st, and a lien will be put on your house. So this is why I do recommend, if you have a hard time putting money aside, to have that amount rolled into your mortgage. If you have further questions about property taxes and the payment process and the protest process, I would suggest you check out your local county appraisal district. They have frequently asked questions and all kinds of details on the websites. If you want information about buying or selling a house in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, I'm the person to reach out to. You can find all of my contact information below.